Evan Urbina, thanks for taking the time. Took a trip to Utah. Your alma mater, BYU, first, and wow, close. Just about every match went 3 sets.
Yeah, it was an incredibly close match. 5 out of 6 went to 3 sets, and once again, doubles point hurt us a little bit. I think they're so short. You know, it's 1 set to 6, and so you've got to get off to a strong start, and you've got to execute on, what we talk about: first serves, second serve returns, and first volleys. I think those are the big things. As you're playing better teams like BYU, the next steps that we talk about are being able to rip through the net players, being able to handle getting ripped at the net, and then moving into the middle better. So poaching more, being very active at the net. So still learning there, still trying to improve our doubles. That's something we're working on every single day in practice. And we will get better. It's just a process. It takes time. And what we talked about after the match was just being better at the end of the season. So all these matches, especially this close match versus BYU, it's being better in conference play and in the conference tournament. So Phil Deaton talked about that, and I was really proud that he brought that forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you go to Weber State, a little bit of a different match there.
Yeah, I think, we played BYU. It was a long match, 4-court facility, just like ours. And, it takes a lot out of you emotionally, mentally maybe. Yeah. And I think we came out just, not as sharp. I think we were so close against BYU. Phil had match points in his match against BYU, and I think we could feel like, okay, we're so close, we can do this. And then not getting it done, and then playing the next day, there was some of that. We talked about it, but we couldn't avoid it.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday this week, back at home, Marist and Idaho State. What do you want to see? Like your team, like you said, they're preparing for the end of the season, for the conference, the tournament and conference season. Like, what do you want to see from your team this weekend?
Well, this weekend they're in the Colex, so they will be doing all the military training. Wow. And then Marist and Idaho State is next weekend. So they're getting off, I think, 5 days of practice. And I think it'll make them tougher. I think they're a little excited about it. That's part of the reason why you come here. Sure. I thought they had a great attitude towards it, despite it being in the middle of our championship season and as we're ramping up for conference. But I told the guys, I don't need you to be 100% for Marist and Idaho State. In fact, I want to see how we compete when we're not at 100%. And I think they're up for the challenge. I definitely want to see us compete well in doubles. I want to see us find a way to enforce our game on other players. One thing I saw from this last weekend, in the big moments against BYU and Weber State, I saw us play solid, good status quo tennis, but I saw our opponents in general, but especially against Matt Staten, like his opponents played excellent in the biggest moments. And so my question to Matt is, what are you doing that they're liking? Or what are you not doing to them that they would, feel the pressure from you? So we're finding ways to enforce, to put some pressure on our opponents in the big moments. And I think that really requires us, we talked yesterday about moving our feet a little better so that we're in the perfect position to rip. Sure. And not just kind of, hit through 70, 75% on our shots and have a bigger rally ball. Those types of things we talked about yesterday.
Yes. And you mentioned it, the Colex, the culminating exercise as freshmen are welcomed kind of into the cadet wing formally. But talk to me about your players and how they handle. You've been around here long enough. Like, it used to be called recognition. Like, what does that do? Because it's in the middle of your season, and how can it actually help you because they're doing those sorts of things?
Well, I think that part of being in the military, there's a toughness that's required. And I think what I like about my team is they don't have to have conditions always perfect. I mean, we're going to compete no matter what the circumstances are. Same thing for the women's tennis team. I mean, they've got matches this weekend, and that's right after the Colex ends. They're not getting any practice days leading up to their match. So I think that's going to be a great challenge for them. And I think they're the same way, which is just like, we're going to compete no matter what. It's kind of like the American spirit, right? It's just like, give us the toughest opponent. We believe we can defeat anybody on any given day. And I like that about our team. I also just think, that's part of the reason you come here. You come here because it's a military school. You're learning these valuable lessons that are going to serve you well for the rest of your life, in your military career and in your civilian career afterwards. So, I think it's not ideal. I would never say like, hey, we should plan this in the middle of our season. But it's just another way that we can show our toughness and just get ready.
Awesome. Coach Urbina, thanks, and rest through the collects while your guys aren't.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.